Hello and welcome back to WWE 2K20 Universe Mode, and we are here on Smackdown here, and we are kicking things off with another qualifying match for the Universal Championship Elimination Chamber match. And Bobby Lashley, this man has been on a roll as of late, destroying all the competition with that hurt lock, making people tap out left, right and centre, and this is his opportunity for a first ever Universal Championship shot, but he's going to have to go through Keith Lee here tonight. Keith Lee, a man who is out for revenge against Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley managed to make Keith Lee submit in a tag team match where Lee teams up with Roman Reigns. Unfortunately, Lee was forced to tap out by Bobby Lashley, but tonight Keith Lee looking to put away Lashley with a huge spirit bomb of his own. Which one of these two men will be entering the Elimination Chamber, the fifth man to be confirmed for the Chamber match? But we will find out, and we will find out the sixth member of the match as well, between Roman Reigns and Baron Corbin. Which one of those two men will be entering the Chamber to join Universal Champion Tommaso Ciampa, Braun Strowman, Seth Rollins, the Intercontinental Champion, and, of course, Cesaro, who managed to get a big victory last week over a continually falling down a hole of losses at the moment being Daniel Bryan, who is in a very bad place at the moment being. We saw him last week getting a chair out, using a chair to attack Cesaro during the match last week. It was not what you typically expect to see from Daniel Bryan, but he did do it. He's been on a big old losing streak and it has been getting to him. And we've seen it get worse and worse for Daniel Bryan. With Keith Lee off to a very bad start in this match. Bobby Lashley very dominant in the early beginnings, really taking it to the big man. Just look at that. Not many men can just take down Keith Lee like that with a running shoulder tackle. This is not what you typically are used to seeing. And look at this strength of Lashley. Straight over the head, dropping Keith Lee over the knee of Bobby Lashley. I don't think Keith Lee's hit a single move yet. Keith Lee needs to be able to fight back into this, with Bobby Lashley currently dominating Keith Lee at the moment being. Of course, we mentioned the Intercontinental Champion Seth Rollins. He will be in our main event tonight, defending his Intercontinental Championship before going inside that Elimination Chamber. Will he be able to enter the chamber still Intercontinental Champion as he goes up against Ali in our main event? We will have to wait and find out. We will also see Kairi Sane in action. Kairi Sane has issued a challenge to Ronda Rousey after what happened last week. Ronda Rousey came in attacking the SmackDown Women's Champion after her match with Sasha Banks. And Kairi Sane wants to stand up for her friend. She wants to take on Ronda Rousey at the Elimination Chamber, and that match has been confirmed. Kairi Sane versus Ronda Rousey, and Kairi Sane will be in action later tonight. Now Bobby Lashley managing to fight back Keith Lee. Keith trying to fight back into this match, but Lashley having the control, being able to drop Lee onto his head down into the mat. And I think Lashley was looking for a big old spear there, but Keith Lee wisely managing to get himself out of the ring. But look at that suplex over the top rope from Bobby Lashley to Keith Lee, belly to belly, and now looking for that spear like I thought he was before. The big spear onto Keith Lee, hitting it directly. 1, 2. But Keith Lee just managing to kick out. I thought that was it. I thought that was done. I thought Keith Lee was already going to be beaten by Bobby Lashley. You have to wonder how Bobby's feeling after the Royal Rumble though. Very disappointed that he didn't manage to continue his momentum to win the Rumble. Probably a bit embarrassing for him as well to get eliminated by Goldberg. Not typically who you would have thought Bobby Lashley would have been taken out by, but Goldberg was the man who managed to put an end to Bobby Lashley's winning ways, eliminating him from that Royal Rumble. You gotta think Lashley might be looking for some payback down the line for that one. Keith Lee would love to be able to get a big victory here tonight. It would mean a lot for Keith Lee to be able to get himself into that Elimination Chamber, get his way back to the top of the card. He has had a Universal Championship match before in a fatal 4-way back at Clash of Champions, and unfortunately came up short in that one. After, speaking of Goldberg by the way, after Goldberg and Johnny Gargano got involved in that one, Keith Lee ended up getting taken out, as did Braun Strowman in that one. It was a huge match. Braun Strowman, Keith Lee, Adam Cole, and Tommaso Ciampa. Both Lee and Strowman taken out in the backstage area by Goldberg and Johnny Gargano. It was a mess in that match, but it allowed Tommaso Ciampa to get the big victory over Adam Cole in the middle of the ring while everything else was going on in the backstage area. And again, Lashley with the strength overhead, holding Keith Lee up and then dropping him down, dropping him straight onto his back, and Lashley continuing to work down that back of Keith Lee, and he is now calling for that hurt lock, looking to lock in the full Nelson, but Keith Lee reversing, punch to the face of Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley going a bit wobbly on his legs there for a second, perhaps caught silly by the old punch to the face. Oh, huge drop kick. You don't expect to see that from someone like Keith Lee. You do not expect to see that in the slightest. Super impressive from Keith Lee. Trying to go for something big there, Keith. But unfortunately, Bobby Lashley catching the leg of Keith Lee. And Bobby Lashley managing to lariat Lee down. But Lee now fighting back, throwing Bobby Lashley over that top rope down to the mat below. You've got to think one of these men going into that Elimination Chamber match with Braun Strowman, both these two huge men, but going in there against Braun Strowman, he is the biggest man. He is the biggest man who's going to be in that match. It is going to be a complete war between either of these men and Braun Strowman, depending on who gets into that Elimination Chamber. You got to think that it's going to be either Strowman or Lee or Lashley's match to lose, to be honest with you. It's all going to depend on who gets the positions that they want inside of the Elimination Chamber. And I can confirm to you, next week in our main event here on Smackdown, on the Go Home show before the Elimination Chamber, it will be a 6-man battle royal between the 6 competitors inside the Elimination Chamber to determine the order of entry inside of that dastardly steel cell. Keith Lee managing to break the count very well. Well, I say wisely, perhaps not the best decision. He managed to get up to an 8 count. He could have probably got the victory there. Perhaps Keith Lee wanting to defeat Bobby Lashley in the ring, pinning him to the mat. That might have actually been a bit of a mistake there for Keith Lee. Because Bobby Lashley was not getting up to his feet. He was still down on the mat at an 8 count. That could have been it for Keith Lee. But Lee instead wanting to prove himself, wanting to prove that he can take down Bobby Lashley. He wants to be the first man to pin Bobby Lashley down to the mat. Since he's kind of had this new change in persona, this new characterization for Bobby Lashley. And look at this strength from Lashley over the shoulder, pulling down on the sides of Keith Lee, pulling down on those ribs, trying to pull Keith Lee apart, and Keith Lee desperately trying to hold on, not wanting to submit, and Bobby Lashley just dropping Keith Lee down to the floor when enough damage had been done, not looking to submit Keith Lee, just looking to damage the back, the midsection of Keith Lee, and now again dropping him down. That strength of Lashley. But Lashley now, you know what he's going to be thinking here, what he went for before, but Keith Lee managed to reverse it. If he locks it in, that is going to be it. If he manages to lock in that hurt lock, and he does, Keith Lee's going to be done. No one has been able to break the hurt lock. No one has been able to not tap out to this move. And there you go. It is all over. Keith Lee down. And Bobby Lashley moving forward too with the Elimination Chamber to join Tommaso Ciampa, Braun Strowman. My goodness, Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley, that is going to be a hell of a face-to-face. The Intercontinental Champion Seth Rollins and of course Cesaro. And there's one more space for that match. Will it be Roman Reigns or will it be Baron Corbin? It'd be very interesting if Reigns manages to make himself into that match. I'm sure him and Lashley would love to go face-to-face again. Lots of unfinished business between those two after what happened before. Lashley returning to the ring, destroying Roman Reigns, destroying Roman Reigns' return to the ring. But Lashley, he is on a roll. He has got to be one of the favourites to come out of that Elimination Chamber with the Universal Championship. But now we move on to this one right here, Kairi Sane, and like I mentioned earlier on in this, Kairi Sane, after what happened last week, she has issued the challenge to Ronda Rousey, and it is official. At the elimination, Kairi Sane and Ronda Rousey will be going one-on-one. The Royal Rumble winner, after making her decision that she's coming after the SmackDown Women's Championship. Or can she continue to prove that she is worthy of that championship opportunity when she goes one-on-one with Kairi Sane at the Elimination Chamber. But Kairi Sane needs to win her match tonight. She wants to continue to pick up that momentum to get herself in position. And tonight, she goes one-on-one with Lacey Evans. Of course, Kairi Sane, a former SmackDown Women's Champion in her own right, and the good friend of Asuka. It's going to mean a lot for her to be going in there with Ronda Rousey. And if Ronda can manage to beat Kairi Sane, that is big just on its own, to be honest with you. Kairi Sane being a former champion, it really proves that Ronda Rousey can hang out there with the best that SmackDown has to give. You've also got to think that she hasn't been in the ring with any of these women before. This SmackDown brand is completely new for her. None of these women has she competed with, apart from in Survivor Series. That's kind of the only time that she's gone face to face with any SmackDown superstars. It's going to be very different for her compared to going up against the Becky Lynch or Charlotte, all those kind of people. It's a very different kind of dynamic that we have here on SmackDown. Lacey Evans managing to get off, getting some big moves in towards the beginning of this match, pulling Kairi Sane up to her feet now for that woman's right, knocking out Kairi Sane, and that is it for this one too. And no, Kairi Sane just managing to kick out, staying alive in this match, but that was very close. Really seemed like that was going to be a big upset there for Lacey Evans, hitting that woman's right to take down Kairi Sane, but Kairi getting that pinfall onto Lacey Evans, but Lacey being able to kick out at a 2 count. Trying to fire herself back into this match is Kairi Sane. Big reverse backhand to the face. And now up top she goes, and you know what she is looking for here. Looking for that insane elbow from the top row. The most beautiful elbow drop in the biz. And down she goes, planting that elbow right to the midsection. And 1, 2, 3, the former SmackDown Women's Champion picking up the big victory here tonight as she looks forward to the Elimination Chamber and her match against Ronda Rousey, the baddest woman in the planet, a woman who has not been defeated in singles competition. It is going to be a hell of a contest between those two, and I cannot wait to see it. But you got to think, what is Asuka thinking? What does Asuka think about this challenge? This challenge from her best friend, and also this challenge from Ronda Rousey for her championship. Is Asuka ready? Is Asuka ready for Ronda Rousey? Well, that is the question that we are going to have to find out down the line. But now we move on to our final Elimination Chamber qualifying match for the Universal Championship match at the Elimination Chamber. And Roman Reigns, he wants to climb to the top of that mountain once again. He needs to be back at the top of SmackDown. He had his opportunity against Ciampa, and him and Ciampa, well, they have had a sordid history between the two of them. The very first episode of Universe Mode, the main event, it was supposed to be the Undisputed Era versus Roman Reigns and the Street Profits, but Tommaso Ciampa attacked Roman Reigns in the backstage area, and Ciampa had a focus on Reigns. He was so focused on destroying Roman Reigns, ending Roman Reigns. And while Roman actually managed to get a victory over Tommaso Ciampa at Extreme Rules, in an Extreme Rules match, he managed to be able to pin Tommaso Ciampa one of the 2 times, I believe, that Ciampa has been pinned here in Universe Mode. And of course, well, actually no, it is the only time he was pinned, because actually he lost in the Steel Cage match, of course. But in that Steel Cage match, he was not pinned by Braun Strowman. The only pin on Tommaso Ciampa has been by Roman Reigns. And Reigns wants to get back in there with Ciampa, wants to end Ciampa, wants to be able to win that Universal Championship, do what he couldn't do back at Hell in a Cell. Of course, it was the main event of Hell in a Cell. It was a Hell in a Cell match between Ciampa and Roman Reigns, looking to end their rivalry once and for all, but unfortunately, Ciampa using some dirty tactics, using some low blows, using some tables, ended up being able to get the big win in that one, doing what he kind of has been doing in a lot of his matches. Kind of taking the easy way out, unfortunately, does Ciampa. But Baron Corbin, he has not had a Universal Championship match since moving to SmackDown. Of course, helping Shane McMahon to defeat Batista at Survivor Series. But Baron Corbin, he was quite a formidable man over on Monday Night Raw, just looking for his footing here on SmackDown. He's managed to have a few good wins, a few good appearances in the Royal Rumble, but he would like to be able to get himself into that championship picture, especially with WrestleMania coming up. You want to be there. You want to be the main event of WrestleMania. And this is what Corbin has been looking for this entire time. He has always wanted to be the main event. He got so upset over the fact that he was not the WWE champion. He was not getting opportunities on Monday Night Raw. That it led to all of the rivalry between him and Batista. And Batista essentially taking it far too far. Powerbombing with Baron Corbin through the top of the Hell in a Cell, throwing him off the top of the Hell in a Cell, and again Batista bombing him in the middle of the ring, going far too far to take out Baron Corbin. Of course, Corbin then returned to Survivor Series, getting his revenge on Batista, but since then things have been a little bit quiet for the Lone Wolf. But tonight, if he can manage to put away Roman Reigns, that would be a big victory for Baron Corbin, getting himself inside that Elimination Chamber, a match filled with big guys. Let's be honest, it's very much a stacked chamber. Look at Braun Strowman. He's just looking monster amongst men, absolutely huge. You can't really deny that, strong as all heck. And then you have Bobby Lashley. We've seen the dominance that he has had recently. You saw what happened again with Keith Lee in our first match here tonight. That Hurt Lock is just unbreakable. Who's going to be able to deal with that? Obviously there's other people in this match, but you're not going to be breaking up each other's submissions. It doesn't make any sense. That could be the thing. That could be it. That could be what gets Lashley a championship match, as Roman Reigns hitting that Superman punch onto Baron Corbin and the spear onto Corbin. Is that enough? Is Corbin done? 1, 2, no! Baron Corbin managing to kick out of the spear, and Roman Reigns cannot believe it. Judging the ref there, going, just saying to the ref, that was not a 2. That was not a 2. But that was just barely a 2 count there, Baron Corbin, and the end of days. But Roman Reigns managing to get out of the way, reversing the end of days, that move that has been so absolutely devastating to all the opponents that have managed to have that. But wait a second, Roman Reigns, lariat over the top rope, and what is he thinking here? This is not something you see often from the big dog, going high risk over the top rope. Big suicide dive there to Corbin on the outside. And just look at how he flies over that top rope. Beautiful. Beautiful from Roman Reigns. Destroying Baron Corbin. Knocking him down. Almost catching his head on that barricade there. Just look again. So close to almost hitting his head on that corner of the barricade. But Corbin just out on the mat right now. In a bad place. And Reigns lifting up the Lone Wolf. Looking to capitalise on the punishment that he has done. Throwing him headfirst into the corner of the ring. Brutal from Roman Reigns as he gets him up to his feet. He needs to get Corbin back inside of the ring if he wants to be able to put an end to Corbin here tonight. But instead, Reigns throwing Corbin over towards the announce table. What is Reigns thinking here? Perhaps thinking of doing some more damage to Corbin on the outside right now. Getting that arm, slamming it down onto the floor. Working down the limbs of Corbin. Kick to the midsection. Just multiple attacks to different parts of the body of Baron Corbin, but getting up close to a 10 count. Corbin getting himself back in the ring wisely. Roman Reigns taking his time to get back in, but Corbin taking advantage of the slowness of Roman Reigns there, catching him off guard as Roman Reigns was just behind the referee, catching him with a big lariat. And now Reigns thrown into the corner by Corbin. Reigns being lifted up to that top rope. Corbin thinking something huge here. These two big men up to the top rope. And like I was saying about Lashley and Strowman, either of these men joining Lashley and Strowman and Cesaro inside of that Elimination Chamber in the superplex from Corbin. Any of these men going inside the chamber is scary. 1, 2, only a 1? Really? Unbelievable from Reigns. He really has some heart here tonight. Now Baron Corbin though not letting Roman Reigns have a second off. The punch to the side of the head, now calling up Reigns to his feet. And this time Corbin hits it. The end of days. Is that the end for Roman Reigns? But wait a second, Corbin, we've seen him do this before, getting him up for another end of days, just like Corbin likes to do. 1 is never enough. Gotta hit more than 1 to make sure you put down the big dog. And Baron Corbin here tonight has managed to do just that. A huge victory for Baron Corbin. He will be moving forward to join the other competitors inside of the Elimination Chamber. And just think about that. Braun Strowman, Baron Corbin, Cesaro, Bobby Lashley. My goodness, those 4 men are going to have a hell of a time in there. But you cannot forget about the Intercontinental Champion Seth Rollins and Tommaso Ciampa. But it is all confirmed now. The match is finally set. Look at those 6 men. 2 championship belts inside of the cell, but just one of them on the line. But of course, can Seth Rollins retain that Intercontinental Championship in the main event here tonight? We'll have to wait and see. And of course, next week we have that big 6-man battle royal to determine what order these competitors will be coming out in the Elimination Chamber. The next up, we move into our tag team division. Of course, Miz and Rusev, our new Smackdown tag team champions. Well, they need some new contenders. They managed to defeat Ricochet and Ali, and they are looking for who is going to be their next competitors at the Elimination Chamber. Because those Smackdown Tag Team Championships will be on the line. And next week we will be having a #1 contenders match to determine who will be the #1 contender for those Smackdown Tag Team Championships. And whoever wins this match here tonight, well, they will be a part of the Triple Threat #1 contenders next week. Will it be the former Smackdown Tag Team Champions, The New Day? Or will it be their opponents here tonight, the Gable Academy? The Gable Academy not being able to pick up SmackDown Tag Team Gold here yet, but Elimination Chamber could be the perfect opportunity for them. Cesaro inside of that Elimination Chamber. And if Drew Gulak and Chad Gable can make their way to the chamber, that could be a big victory that night for the Gable Academy, all holding gold. But having to go through the New Day tonight, very difficult task indeed. Those guys know each other so well, whereas the Gable Academy still a relatively new team here in Universe Mode. And Big E really taking it to Drew Gulak, managing to separate Drew Gulak from his partner. Gulak not being able to tag to Gable in the slightest, but the big DDT from Gulak, looking for the opportunity to perhaps put away Big E right now and get that tag to Chad Gable. Going for the pin, but Big E kicking out at a 1 there. But unfortunately, Gulak caught, not able to get that tag. Chad Gable not being able to get in this match in the slightest, but there it is, the midnight hour. Cesaro getting up, trying to distract Big E. But it's not Big E who is the legal man. Unfortunately, Kofi Kingston, the legal man. 2, 3, and Drew Gulak put away by the expert teamwork of the New Day. And they will be a part of that Triple Threat #1 contenders match next week to try and get back their SmackDown Tag Team Championships. But what a win here tonight. Very clever teamwork to isolate Drew Gulak. And that's probably what you need to do if you're going to face Miz and Rusev. Isolate the Miz and not allow Rusev to enter the ring. But now it is time for our main event, and it is for the Intercontinental Championship. Seth Rollins having to defend his championship here tonight as per Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon declaring that since Seth Rollins did not defend at the Royal Rumble, and since Seth Rollins will not be defending at the Elimination Chamber event because he will be inside of the Elimination Chamber, Seth Rollins is forced to defend his championship belt here tonight. And he will be going up against one half of the former SmackDown Tag Team Champions, Mustafa Ali. You see, of course, accompanied to the ring by his tag team partner Ricochet here to support Ali, just in case the Church of Rollins gets involved in this Intercontinental Championship defense here tonight. You got to wonder if Ricochet perhaps is a little bit jealous of Mustafa Ali here getting an opportunity at the Intercontinental Championship. I'm sure Ricochet would also love to get his opportunity at some singles gold after their tag team championship run. But Seth Rollins, the Intercontinental Champion, of course, winning that championship all the way back at Hell in a Cell. Been holding onto that belt for quite a while now. And he's accompanied to ringside by the rest of the Church of Rollins. But Rollins, is he focusing on this match? Is he looking past this match? Is he focusing too much on that Elimination Chamber, the opportunity of becoming the first man to hold both the Intercontinental Championship and the Universal Championship. That is what he has been talking about. That is what he's been talking about since before the Royal Rumble. He wanted to win the Rumble to go and make it happen, but he has been given a second opportunity to make it happen as he goes into that Elimination Chamber, but he still needs to be able to hold on to that Intercontinental Championship. And so we get started with our main event of the evening, and it's sure to be a hell of a contest with these two athletes in the ring. Two very strong competitors. Of course, Seth Rollins has held a multitude of gold here on SmackDown. He has pretty much been in that main event scene the entire time. But Ali had a very different story, struggled at the beginning of Universe Mode, really struggled to get his momentum together until teaming with Ricochet, winning the SmackDown Tag Team Championships at Clash of Champions. But then, of course, holding on to them all the way through to the Royal Rumble until losing them to Miz and Rusev. But now Ricochet and Ali both making a decision that they don't want their rematch for those SmackDown Tag Championships. They want to move forward. They want something new. But they will still be supporting each other as friends as we keep on going. There's no need to betray each other, but there's bigger opportunities for both of these guys. Both so talented, but going through Seth Rollins, a former two-time Universal Champion, and of course a current Intercontinental Champion. It's not going to be an easy task in the slightest for Ali here tonight. And you've seen that in the beginning of this match, Seth Rollins being very dominant at the start of this. Ali trying to get in a few flourishes every now and then, but Seth Rollins knowing where he is in the ring, really using that to his advantage. Just as we saw at the very beginning of this match, when Ali went running at Seth Rollins into the corner, and then Rollins just moved out of the way, allowing Ali to go flying through the middle ropes. For Seth Rollins just trying to go a bit high risk, but Ali managing to roll out of the way, but Seth Rollins grabbing the arm, big punch to the side of the face of Mustafa Ali, getting him down, super kick to the straight on middle of his face, and they're going down for that pin. Only a one count. Mustafa Ali very much still being able to kick out at this point, not taking enough punishment to really knock him down for the count, but Rollins following up with a standing moonsault onto Ali, trying to keep him down on the mat. Very much the plan at the moment being, but Ali back to his feet, but caught by a spinning kick from Seth Rollins, and now up against the ropes, and Rollins looking to take advantage of the prone position of Ali, but instead they both crash into the middle of the ring, and Ali taking advantage, dropping down Rollins, and this could be the momentum that he needs. This could be the change in the match for Ali, and Ali now getting Seth in position. A big sit down powerbomb from Mustafa Ali. Big strength move there, and now going where he is known to go, the specialist position for Mustafa Ali. And he is going for it, turning around for that 054 onto Seth Rollins. 1, 2, no, almost so close to a new champion, but Ali managing not to be able to put away Rollins, but he's going straight back up, straight up to that top rope again for a second time. Frog splash this time. Frog splash right to the midsection of Rollins, and again to the top rope, looking to continually do damage to Rollins right now. And again, the second time, 054 times 2. 1, 2, and oh. I thought he'd done it. I thought Seth Rollins' icy reign was over. I thought we had a new champion here tonight. I thought Mustafa Ali had managed to put away the former Universal Champion. And Ali not giving up. He will not stop this momentum he has right now. He has found an opportunity against Seth Rollins here. And he knows he needs to keep it up. And through the middle rope, rolling cutter. Catching Rollins completely off guard. And again, down for the pin. 1, 2. No, so close. Rollins somehow still having the energy within him to be able to kick out somehow. And Rollins now down on the mat, and Ali up to the top rope, looking to finish us off with the third 054. And that's got to be it. That's got to be it done. 1, 2, 3. Unbelievable. Rollins somehow managing to survive right now. I don't understand how he is doing it, but he is managing to kick out of everything that Ali has tonight. Mustafa trying so hard to be able to put away Rollins, but Rollins refusing to give up. He refuses to lose that Intercontinental Championship here tonight. He will not give up And there you go, Rollins catching Mustafa Ali. Down he goes, face first into the mat with that curb stomp. Directly down, and now pulling him up for that revolution knee. Bang! And that's got to be it. Down for the pin. 1, 2, 3. Never mind. Ali also having that heart, refusing to give up. But Rollins taking a lesson from Ali here. He is not giving up either. Straight away back into the curb stomp again for the second time. And down Ali goes. And again, Rollins into the pin. Can he do it? 1, 2, 3. And Rollins still your Intercontinental Champion. What a match between Seth Rollins and Mustafa Ali here tonight. But now, Seth Rollins, he has got to have his focus solely on that Universal Championship Elimination Chamber match, where he looks to become the first ever IC Champion and Universal Champion at the same time. He wants his gold back around his waist. And well, what a night for Rollins here tonight. What a victory, defending the IC Championship. But will he be able to get that Universal Championship? That is the question. But a big victory here tonight for Rollins. What a big win. But, oh wow, Adam Cole and the Undisputed Era having their eyes on that Intercontinental Championship of Seth Rollins. Seth may won that Universal Championship, but he's going to have to keep his eyes out for other competitors. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.